The moment we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, on hip-hop's 53rd birthday, I would like to one by one introduce some of the biggest legends and pioneers in the history of hip-hop. Please give a warm round of applause for one of the lead rappers from the amazing group I&I, Pete Rock's brother, the one and only Grap. Luva, everybody! If you were around in the 90s, there's no doubt you had a mixtape from this man, the bounce master, the mixtape king, the one and only DJ Doo-Wop. This is a live episode of one of the hottest, newest, dopest podcasts in the entire country, and the DJ behind it, the personality behind it, is DMV's own. Round of applause for DJ Quicksilva. Most of us would not be sitting here if it wasn't for this man, one of the biggest and most important pioneers in the history of hip-hop. His biography is too long to get into, so if you know him, give a big round of applause for Grand Wizzard Theodore. Excuse me, hold on, I got something in my throat.
Let me clear my throat.
Round of applause for the one and only DJ Kool, everybody. Thank you for being with us. Now stay tuned for one of the dopest episodes of Who Is ever.
We can go ahead and get started now.
Now you can get started.
Eddie, we good over there?
Everybody got their mic? All right.
Everybody
One,
check your
two.
mic.
Check. 1, 2.
Oh, these are crispy.
I promise we won't take up too much time today, but this is such an important day for hip hop. For those watching back home, welcome to another edition of the Who Is podcast. Myself, Quicksilva.
Hold up, rewind it for 1 second. Let's start this one more time.
The hip hop
Come on over.
Historian.
The historian
is here.
Historian.
The National Hip Hop Museum historian, and also the author of Run DMC, 40 Years of Raising Hell. The book is available now at the Hip Hop Shop. Please give a big round of applause for the one and only Quan, everybody.
Jay Quan.
There's no mic over there.
We share. We're good, man. We family here.
There we go.
You got a mic? You got a mic?
Start that intro.
Check.
All right, now we can start the intro all over again. Welcome to another edition of Who Is podcast. Myself, Quicksilva. We sitting here celebrating hip hop's 53rd birthday because on this exact day, 53 years ago, a lifestyle started. Not a form of music, but a lifestyle that we now know as hip hop. So if anybody is a fan of real hip hop, can you just start clapping right now for hip hop's 53rd birthday? So I start every podcast the same way, and I'm gonna start with you, Kool. Even though DJ Kool has already been featured on the Who Is podcast, I always say, let's assume that there's somebody in this room right now. In 1 minute or less, if I had to ask you for somebody who has no idea who you are, who is DJ Kool? How would you answer? 1 minute, Kool.
The DJ that been doing this coming out of Southeast Washington, D.C., as you know I like to say, since 1977. More so known for blending two genres of music together to make one, blending hip-hop with go-go. You know what I mean? And that's who DJ Kool is.
Easy word. And once again, we talking to each other, but we're looking in the camera. So I'm going to allow each DJ to introduce yourself over again. So when I ask who is, just say who is your name, and tell everybody in a minute or less who might not know who you are at home why you up on this table today.
Good afternoon. My name is Grand Wizzard Theodore from the Boogie Down Bronx. I am the creator of the Needle Drop and the creator of the Scratch in 1975. Thank you.
Get it around. Same question.
DJ Doo-Wop, born in Los Angeles, raised in the Bronx, New York. Probably the early 90s, started like doing the mixtapes and all that. But real quick, probably the first one to put rappers like known rappers on mixtapes, which later on became a norm. But yeah, that's what I did.
Big facts. You, sir?
All right. Peace, everybody. My name is Grap Lover, the younger soul brother. I am the younger brother of DJ Pete Rock and the younger cousin of the great MC Heavy D. It's a lineage thing. It's a family thing. Started with my dad with the record collecting, and it just trickled on down. I love hip-hop music. I love creating it. I love dancing to it. All of that. And did I say I was from Mount Vernon, New York? Home of Denzel Washington, Vernon. You know. Home of the King Heavy D, home of Denzel Washington. You know what it is. So we here to represent. I&I's in the building.
Yes, sir. Last but not least.
Quan, the hip-hop historian from Richmond, Virginia. MC and DJ many, many years ago, released one of the first rap records out of Richmond, VA. A fan of everybody up here on the stage. I was early on with putting hip-hop history in the earliest days of the internet, 95, 96, and it's evolved to what it's evolved to. Peace.
Peace. All right. Now, I'm just going to ask some questions because this is really off script. If anybody watched my Who Is podcast, I'd either write down any questions. And if anybody feels, compelled to answer the question, just take the mic and start talking. My first question for everybody on the stage right now, if it was not for hip-hop, what do you think you'd be doing right now? Anybody?
I'd be playing keyboards for Parliament Funkadelic. For real. My first musical aspiration was to play keyboards for Parliament Funkadelic because I wanted to play beside Bernie Worrell, who is without question the best keyboard player,
Facts.
period.
Ever.
He's an octopus, you know what I mean? So that was my musical aspiration, but I seen Grandmaster Flash. Well, I heard Grandmaster Flash. I heard Melly Mel. And I seen Maniac McCloud. If there's any people here from DC, old school DC, who would know who Maniac McCloud is.
One of the greatest party DJs of all time.
All right. My daddy in this joint. And I was like, you know what, Kool? You're not gonna play for Parliament Funkadelic because you're not gonna be doing coke and all that like George and doing. And so I became a hip hop artist. And then I seen Chuck Brown, and that's when I said, well, let me put this go-go in this hip hop, and there you go. So yeah.
Anybody else? A minute or less want to answer the same question. If it was not for hip hop, what would you be doing right now?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you because at 8, 9 years old is when I started DJing. So, everybody wanted to play baseball and basketball and all that. So, but I'm going to keep it like funky. Like, that's what I did at that early age, and that's what I stuck to. So, honestly, I couldn't even answer that question.
I understand completely. Real quick, this question is directly to you because you invented needle dropping and scratching. Like, if y'all don't know as a DJ what that means to the culture of DJing, I'm not sure if you understand what a DJ is. But I know the story, but for somebody that's here in the audience or watching back home that does not know, what made you say to yourself, let me go ahead and put my hand on this record, stop the record, and then make a noise that becomes a sound that becomes something that we all do today?
Yeah, well, let me give you the short version. My family life, my environment, and living in the Bronx is what made me who I am today. My story is a little bit different. I didn't have anybody to inspire me to be who I am today. I have to thank my moms. My moms loved music. She played music when she was happy. She played music when she was sad. She played music when she was cooking. She played music when she was about to kick some butt in the house. My mom, I can come home and hear moms playing Teddy Pendergrass, and I'm like, yeah, I know what kind of mood she's in today, Or if I come home and hear James Brown, I'm like, oh, man, something is not right.
Shit.
We looked at American Bandstand. We watched American Bandstand. We watched Soul Train. We watched black exploitation films like Shaft and stuff like that across 110th Street and all of that stuff. I grew up in neighborhoods where it was gang violence. The government wasn't putting no money back into the inner city and stuff like that. I was going to school and wasn't learning anything, you know, and stuff like that. And not knowing that I was born into a culture, into an art form that we call hip hop. Now, how I created the scratch? I created the scratch in 1975. When I was 21
wasn't
years
even
old.
born yet.
When I was 21 years old. Now, my last year of junior high school, my principal played music through the loudspeakers in the lunchroom. And people got tired of listening to the music that my principal was playing. So a friend of mine convinced my principal to let me make a cassette tape. So I went home, took my boombox, put it in front of the speakers, pressed record, started making my little mixtape. The music that I practiced on was in my mother's house. And my mother's the kind of person where she doesn't argue, she doesn't raise her voice or nothing. She just starts swinging like Mike Tyson. That's my mom's. So I'm in the house, I'm playing music, the music is too loud. Mom's come, she busts in the room. Well, it felt like she busted in the room. She came in the room and said, turn the music down or turn the music off. So those couple of seconds would seem like an eternity. I was playing one record on my right side and I was holding the other record on my left side. So when she came in the room and startled me, I pushed up both levers on the mixer because we didn't have the mixers that went from left to right. Our mixers went up and down. So when she came in the room and startled me, I pushed up both of the levers and I could hear both records at the same time. She said, turn the music down, turn the music off. I pulled the music down, did a baby scratch, kept going with my cassette tape. She left the room, and when I finished my cassette tape, I went back and I started listening to it, and I heard myself baby scratching. I was like, wow, I can incorporate that into all the other things that I'm doing as a DJ because I want to be different from everybody else. I don't want to sound like the next person, you know? And I practiced it another couple of hours, another couple of days, and that's how it became the scratch. I was only 12 years old in 1975.
Y'all should be clapping for that, man.
Yeah. And today that makes me 21 years old.
Thank you.
Now, real quick, if I wasn't a DJ, I would probably have a string of health food restaurants because a lot of this food is killing us. You know? Now, if we know then what we know now, a lot of our maybe grandmothers or friends or aunts and uncles would still be alive because, you know, heart disease, high blood pressure, all this food that we eating is killing us. And I would have a restaurant with steamed vegetables and, you know, steamed salmon and you know, no red meat and just food that would help us live longer. That's what kind of restaurant I would have. When FIFA came here, they had boats and trailers of food. They did not eat any of the food that was here in the United States. They did not touch
These
our
are all
food.
facts, by the way. Y'all
They
can do
flew
that.
all of their food in on
at your
boats
food, y'all.
and airplanes and tractor trailers. They did not eat any of our food, so that should be telling us something.
Oh,
Pause.
man.
Facts.
It's all good. I'm gonna kind of just work my way down the table, right? Y'all can clap, so y'all can clap. It's okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna work these questions, you know, down the room. For you first, when you made your first mixtape, what was your mindset like that? Did you have any idea that these would become these legendary doo-wop tapes?
So when like I said, when I started DJing, I was 9 years old, right? So you talking about 79, 80. Big fan of the tapes, the Theodore tapes, the Flash and all that, but I'm gonna fast forward. So I kind of like lost interest in DJing around 80, 84, 85. I mean, I was still in the hip hop culture, but I just lost interest in DJing. I kept my stuff to the side. And 86, when I saw Eric B, right? Even though we know, like, everybody looks at Eric B like, oh, he wasn't like a masterful, like, how you say it? Turntablist and all that. It doesn't matter. His aura alone, he was just as important as Rakim was, right? Even though everybody was like all over, you know what I mean? So, boom. So I'm looking at Eric B like, God damn, like the DJ can also be a star. Like at that point to me, the DJ couldn't be like a big star. He was always kind of in the background. So that right there regained my interest, right? Got back into it. Then I heard the Brucey B tapes, the Kid Capri, the Star Child, the Hollywood, Love Bug Starsky. And that's in 89 is when I decided to make my first mixtape. Obviously, I mean, I wish I had it to this day so I could laugh at it, but it started like the movement, you know what I mean? Like the doo-wop movement. And but that's what it was. It was more of I was inspired by those guys who made the DJ seem important. You know what I mean?
That's super dope, man. As the brother of a hip hop legend, like, was there any pressure? Like feeling like, dang.
I want to answer that other question first. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah. So two-part question. What would you be doing without
So
hip-hop?
if I wasn't doing hip hop, I would definitely be working with children, without a question. Anybody, all my people that know me know that I love the babies. I love the kids. I work with kids. I'm currently getting ready to work with kids in August. You know what I mean? But if I wasn't doing music, that's what I'll be doing, working with kids. Now, as far as being the brother of a super producer such as my brother, yeah, there's pressure there, you know what I mean? But it's all about whether or not you pay attention to it, really, you know what I mean? Because it's pressure induced by others. It's not really pressure induced by my brother, you know what I mean? It's the comparison, the idea of comparing my abilities to his, you know what I mean, from other people. With him, it's more of a support thing, you know what I mean? I remember when I first started, like, making beats and stuff like that, and he caught me. He caught me making beats one time because I was messing with his machine. And what I would do is, like, he'd have a beat complete, and I would try to add a little sound to it, thinking I'm doing something, right? And then I wouldn't save it enough. I would just add it and then listen and be like, oh, all right, whatever, and then let it go. And then a friend of mine named Mark told me how to clear the drum machine. So I was working with the SP1200 at the time. Still working with it.
Producers know this lingo.
Yes. So I learned how to clear the memory, and I started making beats. And one day Pete came down and caught me, and he was like, "Oh, you making beats now? You trying to make some beats?" I was like, "All right, yeah." I was like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? Like reluctant to say yeah. And then I just went into like a Pete Rock boot camp for like 6 months. Like, nah, truncate that. No, stop that. No. You know, just tightening me up basically. And then from there, I ended up producing a song for our debut album, The Life I Live, the group I&I that I'm in, a song called Step Up that we'll actually be performing today.
Nice.
So.
Come on, y'all. Clap.
So yeah, so when you hear that beat, that's my beat. That's the beat I made. And then so I've been, just producing from there. But yeah, it can be, competitive in terms of outside influences saying what they need to say about it. But in terms of me and my brother, it's like, big bro, little bro. You know what I mean? He's a year older than me. So it's like, it's like, sometimes he's come down into the basement. When I used to make beats at his house, he would come down and be, whoa, what you doing? What's that? What you using, yo? I like to say that I'm the one who inspired The Saga Begins, the Rakim record.
Nice.
Because that record was sealed in his collection. I went in and grabbed it and pulled it out, and I kept trying to sample.
Pause.
Yes, pause. I kept trying to sample another part of it. And I think he heard I was letting the beginning play, and then I was trying to sample this other part, and he heard that beginning. And I didn't hear it like the way he heard it. And he went back and made The Saga Begins.
That is
with that
crazy.
beat. So, I've been very much a muse to him as well. You know what I mean? It's not so much like, idol and idol worship thing. It's almost equal, you know what I mean? Because there's been times where I've been in the basement with him, and I know I've inspired him making like 4, 5, 6 beats at one time, you know what I mean? We had like a little routine where we go to Harlem, get the medicine, come back, prepare the medicine, partake in the medicine, and then he'll go and jump on the machine.
Y'all know what medicine is, right?
He'll go. They know. It's adults in here. They know. I'm just being good for the kids.
Tylenols.
Right. It's from the earth. It's from the earth.
Yes. So partake, and then I would end up passing out from the medicine a little bit.
Shout out to all my medicine partakers.
And then
out
I would
there.
wake up maybe an hour later after the medicine. You know, I wake up an hour later and he'd be tapping something. I'm like, yo, you still messing with that one sound? Yo, hold up. And then he'll save that sound and he'll play me like 4 beats that he made while I was sleeping. So stuff like that, you know what I mean?
That's super dope, man.
Those things are more inspiring than intimidating. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Man, once again, if you're just tuning into the Who Is podcast, we're talking to hip hop royalty and hip hop legends today. I got to go to the historian, my man Jay, at the end. This is the question, and I want to ask you this question first, but then everybody else, if you want to try to chime in. You know, hip hop was birthed a lot of times. You think about rap music, right? With battles, whether it was Kool Mo D and Busy B back in the day. Like, what do you feel like for yourself personally was your favorite rap battle? Between who?
My favorite battle, of course, Busy B and Mo D was dope, but I'd probably say the Cold Crush and the Fantastic. You know, and that's, you know, you had to hear tapes to hear that. And you know, and briefly, I had to learn my hip hop history backwards. I'm from Virginia, so we had the records. You know, rap record. Contrary to popular belief, if a rap record came out on a Thursday in New York, we had it by Saturday here. We had the records here, especially in Virginia, where I'm from. So rap records, I know my rap records, but I had to learn my rap history backwards, the things that predate records. So, you know, before I would have probably said, you know, before probably the mid to late 80s, I might have said some record where cats were going back and forth. But there is a difference between Shan and KRS going back and forth on records.
That was crazy.
That's not battles. That's
right.
Reply records. A battle was a crew getting up doing their routine, another crew getting up, and then the roar of the crowd, the volume of the crowd was what determined what the winner was. So that Fantastic versus Cold Crush, after learning the history of that and then talking to the MCs that were
Turn the mics up,
a
Ed.
part of it.
But if anybody else on there, like, do you have a favorite battle? Any of us?
Me and Grand Wizzard Theodore was just talking about this one. The Kool Mo D and LL Cool J.
Oh my God, I
Joint.
forgot about that one.
Specifically, the How You Like Me Now 12-inch cover, right? You already know
forgot
what
about
we're,
that.
right? When, what was that? Kool Mo D was rolling over LL Cool J's Kango joint. That was nuts to me. But they were selling records doing this. So I won't even about, you know what I mean? I'm
Killing
better than
each
you,
other.
this and that. We're about selling records, and this is how we gonna do it. And yeah, so I thought that was dope.
Anybody?
I had the Fantastic Cold Crush battle on 8-track. I had the tape.
Jesus.
But Richie,
Wow.
all right, so listen.
You stunting on us right now?
Listen. Richie T, you already know, Richie T, T Connection. He also owned a record store called Rhythm Den on Tremont Avenue in the Bronx. I would live for every, I want to say Tuesday, it might have been Thursday, but that's when the tapes dropped. So every Tuesday or Thursday, $8, my dad would drive me, give me my $8 to go buy the tape. And it would be the Cold Crush, Fantastic, Imperial Brothers, Treacherous 3, Force MCs, not the Force MDs, the Force MCs with Dr. Rock.
Wow.
Flash, Furious 5, and then I had that battle. But then he had an 8-track, and the 8-track was like $12. I'm like, Dad, I gotta get that. So I got the 8-track. I'm just kicked myself every day because I never saved none of that stuff. Like, you know, I gave it away as years went by or whatever, but I had an 8-track, bro, like of that joint. Probably the greatest battle ever. And can I ask you one question? Where was that battle? Harlem World? Okay.
Right. Question for everybody on the panel. I've heard people say over the last years that hip hop is dead. I'm sure we've heard some say that. For anybody that wants to combat that, why do you feel like there's so many people that feel like hip hop is dead?
I personally don't think that it's dead. I think it
definitely
just went underground.
Do y'all agree, disagree? Anybody up here?
I would say the industry side of it is dying. There are still plenty of artists out here who are really going from the trunk, going from their back pocket, going from wherever, you know what I mean, to sell the music. The industry side is dying because I think people are getting hip to the game of the industry, you know what I mean?
Music business is 10% music, 90% business.
Right, and it didn't get any better with the 360 deal and those things of that nature. So I think that side of it is like croaking, is dying out, and the more independence and more underground supported music is now starting to bubble up a little more.
Gotcha. Real quick, is there anybody in the audience that has a question for anybody on the panel? Anybody? Just put your hand up. Anybody? Where you at? Somebody say yeah. Who said yeah? Come here. What's your question? And I'll repeat it out loud. Theodore, his question is, Theodore, do you still have the first tape that you made the first scratch on? That's a dope question too, by the way.
No, I don't. When I made the cassette, I gave it to my principal, and that was it. I don't know if he waited or put it on eBay or what he did, but I wish I had that cassette. That was a good question, man.
Yeah, you know how much money that cassette would be worth? Like, that should be in the National Hip Hop Museum. This is the tape of the first scratch in the history of scratching.
It would be a museum piece.
Damn, that'd be
top. Yeah.
Shout out to Mully Man and Pork Chop in the building.
Baltimore's finest.
Baltimore. Yeah,
Real life.
that part.
Anybody else? Any questions? Come on, y'all. Pork Chop has a question for the panel. Ooh, God. See, Pork Chop, we trying to keep this. We trying to wrap this podcast up soon.
Come on,
all right,
Chop.
so moving forward, everybody try to answer in a minute or less. His question was, who is the best rapper? Who is the greatest rapper of all times?
I think the greatest came in phases. Melly Mel might have been before Rakim, and then Rakim, and then from what I'm feeling and gathering, Nasir Jones, and now we have maybe Kendrick, maybe. LL before Nas.
Thanks, Pork Chop.
I was gonna say LL.
Wait a minute.
Here we
LL
go.
invented
Because he
definitely
has volume. So not in terms of what he made, like in terms of his creativity. He coined the word
right.
So.
He coined it, and also he
I can share my seat with you now. I can share my seat with you.
Pork Chop is a hip hop aficionado, okay?
No,
so I don't
respect,
know.
man. But yeah,
don't let his song "Bringing the Cats" make y'all fool that he did his club music.
This is
a hip hop guy through and through.
But that's how I kind of see it, though. Like Melly Mel, Rakim, I'll give LL, and then Nasir, and then right now the young people are saying Kendrick. So, and I'm sure there's somebody that's crazier than him right now.
Hove. Right, Hove.
Jay-Z.
Hove.
You know what I mean? This is me, though. This is mine.
This is him personally.
This is mine.
This is him personally. Everybody So, same question.
I want to know what they think.
No. Right. Who? Jay Quan.
Yeah, I say, like the brother here said, I think you have to take it by decades. I think it shouldn't be just one. Because I don't think it is necessarily one person you can say is the greatest of all time. I think for his time, I say Grandmaster Melly Mel for sure. And this is not just the message, just B Street Breakdown and a whole lot of other stuff that ain't on records. I say Mel is the greatest of all time overall, but then definitely Kane is great. Rakim is one of the greatest. Kool Rap is one of the most underrated greatest.
Facts.
I think Black Thought has come a long way.
Facts.
Of course,
Now we talking hip hop up here.
Of course, LL, as far as being a wordsmith, he picked up the thing that Tila Rock put down, and he carried that. Mo D, definitely one of the best before records. It's a difficult question because it's been so much. We got 40-some years of rap records, and a lot of people have never heard. It's MCs that never made records that's great. That of course we're not gonna know, but for the ones that we all know, I definitely put Mel up there very high. Jay-Z has done great things. Aside from him being a billionaire, I don't like to bring that into the lyrical conversation. I think he's a slick lyricist, whether he made $1 billion or not. So, but it's many more, but those are the ones that come off the top. And the Trinity for me in that golden era is definitely Kane, Rakim, Kool Rap. KRS-One is great, and Chuck D. And Chuck D is a cat that you can't even put in the box because he's the only one that does what he does. So those are just a few off the top.
Dude, same question. Greatest of all time.
I'm going with Hove. I'm going with Jay-Z right now because I'm thinking about like all the songs, right? Like and that takes nothing away from Rakim and them, like he said, because the era is like the styles elevated, But like when Rakim came out, nobody was rapping like that. Everybody was yelling and shit, like, you know, like Run DMC and all that. So he changed the game. But if I had to, I tell you what, I ain't gonna say best rapper lover. If I just had to listen
This
to
is
one,
your personal opinion,
if
by the
I
way.
had to listen to one rapper for the rest of my life, I'd probably go with Hov.
You don't gotta explain yourself. Right, you're not gonna get attacked when you leave with the stage. Right?
Okay, so I like the way that
I'm
doo-wop
gonna jump in.
answered
I'm gonna
that.
jump in. If I had to say my greatest of all times, if we're talking eras, of course, I'm always start with Rakim and KRS-One for me. As far as greatest of all times, a lot of people, for some reason, because I understand hip hop started in the Bronx, but I'm gonna go West Coast for a minute. I'm gonna say Ice Cube. As far as like hip hop artists and like lyricists, like what Ice Cube did and NWA did to like, and you gotta remember, you know, hip hop was coastal, it was East Coast. Then the West Coast just completely took over hip hop to the point where New York was always still relevant, but West Coast was the forefront because of NWA, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, people like that. Now, of course, moving forward, my personal favorite, everybody knows is Hov. Jay-Z is my personal favorite artist, once again, not just because of the business side, but I just, kind of what you said, you know, catalog and song for song is undeniable. I don't care how you feel about him personally, like, you can't deny his music. But I can, you know, like I said, it's opinion-based. There is no wrong answer up here, so it's not like somebody can say, like, you're wrong, like, this is our opinion. This is his opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, so I'm going to say Rakim, KRS, Hov. Then if we're West Coast, I'm going to say Snoop and Dre. If I'm North South, I'm going to say Andre 3 Stacks. I mean, that's a difficult question, right? Come on, man. As a pioneer.
Oh man, all the MCs that you guys have said so far are like my favorite MCs, but I look for a different, like, you know, longevity. I look for, you put an MC and he put out a record, and one time they pull out a record and it's a party record. Next time they pull out a record, it's a record for the ladies. And then they put out a record, it's a record for the fellas. We pull out a record, it's all around and stuff like that. And that's something that LL Cool J does. You know, so I have to, not because I know him and he keep texting me, you know, but
Now tell him pull up.
I'm just saying, you know, I look for an MC that's for the people. He can put out a record for anybody, you know, for the ladies. He does something for the ladies. He does something for the fellas. He does something for the party. You know, I need love and all that stuff. So I would definitely have to say, you know, LL Cool J's the GOAT. Definitely.
I can't even answer.
DJ Kool.
I think the answers have already been given from all the brothers.
What's your personal
previous.
opinion, though?
But well, I wanna approach it the way that doo-wop did, saying if I had to listen to one artist
In the back.
personally, if I had to listen to one MC all the time, for me it would be Chuck D. Right? I'm that dude. That Bama Farrakhan's a prophet, and I think you ought to listen. He made me get into Farrakhan. I was damn near FOI because of Chuck. No, real talk, because of Chuck D. You know what I mean? So that's me right there. Exactly.
KRS-One got me off of meat.
Oh, we got another
What?
question. Hold on.
Pause with the beef record.
We got another question in the audience, ladies. Real quick.
Hey, real quick, we spent 53 years building hip-hop culture. What do we need to do over the next 50 years to make sure we own more of what the culture creates?
Great question, my brother.
We need to pool our finances together. As a people, we need to create self-reliance. You know what I mean? Outside of what this system is. Like I said earlier, that industry is on its way out, for real. And out the trunk is gonna come back. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna be checking for people right around you, like that's coming out the trunk with quality music. But I think that's what it is. Like it's probably for me. I feel it starts more with the finances, and financially being able to, control our situation. But that's my opinion.
Here go the crazy part, and just kind of answering your question. A lot of people forget that the music business is actually a business. So, right, here's the bad part that a lot of people don't want to admit when you think about how when it's a hip hop is dead and things like that. Unfortunately, I'm gonna give y'all the real for anybody that's like don't really know the business of hip hop. Hip hop has become like when the pioneers started hip hop, this wasn't $1 billion industry. They were doing this for the love of it, for the love of the culture, for the love of DJing, for the love of the MC whose only job was to hype up the DJ before the whole rapping thing started, right? But then from that, it became the highest earning form of music. Now, because of that, hip hop is now, to business-wise, 10% music, 90% business, which is great for business, but it's difficult for the art form. Because unfortunately, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Unfortunately, the art form has come third and fourth. Right now, if I'm in the music business of business, I'm in the business. I don't know anybody who starts a business and their goal is not to make money. If you say that's not my goal, you're just lying to yourself, or you haven't made enough money yet. That changes your perspective. Everybody has a dollar amount that right now you make $1,000, whatever. But when you make your first million, then you make your first 10 million, God forbid you make 100 million, your mindset changes. So the difficult question, kind of back to your question, is how do we get back to the art form being profitable? Because that's what I've noticed over it's almost like the deeper the art form, unfortunately, the least amount of spins you get. And I'm not just talking ready, I'm just talking period. We live in a viral generation now where everything is on your phone. Everything is Instagram, TikTok, and everybody wants a moment. How do we now get those moments to be what we want it to be is the question for the algorithm that I don't think any of us can answer right now. We're all trying to figure it out. Yes, you get your hand up for a minute. I'll come back to you. Great question. How do you feel about rap artists not using DJs at all? Whew, damn. I'm trying to wrap this up, so y'all asking a good-ass question.
I'm not cool with that.
I'm not cool with that, and I'm not just being biased because I'm a DJ. But unfortunately, back to when you talk, and this is a question I kind of had planned to ask. Right now, we're talking about performing, right? When I'm performing, what gets me the biggest response? Is it me being with a DJ or me being with a live band? Not me personally, but if I'm an artist. If I want to be on the big stage, I'm not talking about at the National Hip Hop Museum and we're doing something for the culture. I want to be on Coachella stage with 100,000 people. I want to sell out an arena. How do we now get that to be about the DJ? Right. It's disgusting.
The crazy thing about the whole situation that you're talking about right now is now you're taking one of the elements out.
The element that started hip hop.
Exactly. Like what are we doing? So yeah, that's nuts to me.
It's nasty.
That's
work.
a good question though. Excellent.
We had a young lady had a hand up for a minute too. I'm gonna come to you right. You first and you second. I want to talk to some ladies.
In your opinion, what other industry has hip hop influenced the most?
Everyone, but I don't want to answer all the questions. All of them. I mean, honestly, hip hop has inspired everything and everybody from the way we talk to the way we walk to the way we dress to the way we DJ. Like I don't know anything in life.
Even certain forms of R&B, like. And I go back to
my
background, the mixtapes when Ron G and Kid Capri put hip hop beats under acapellas, and Puff admitted like he took that idea and created the whole Mary J. Blige. So even like we know R&B been here forever, but even that part of R&B definitely influenced that.
Absolutely. There was another young lady with a question. I hope we answered your questions too, man. Was your question how many? Say one more. Oh, so our question for those who can't hear, how many of us work with women DJs and our opinion on women DJs overall? I mean, I know myself personally, I work with a lot of women DJs, but what I will say is that when it comes to being a DJ, I look at DJing as an artist. If anybody knows Quicksilva, if you ever see me like really perform, I always say, even I was up here scratching and getting busy, I always say I've perfected the the performance portion of being a DJ. I've come up under the DJ Kools of the world that really, if you see me DJ, I'm performing. I say all that to say, when you become a DJ, it shouldn't be about if you're a female or a male. Everybody's your competition, unfortunately. Everybody. So I always say, don't come into business thinking I'm gonna be the dopest female DJ. I'm just gonna be the dopest DJ. And then when you believe that in yourself, you gotta actually invest in yourself, believe in yourself, perfect your craft, and make yourself the best version of yourself. This is something that I say it, and it sounds bad when you say it. Nobody on this panel can out Quicksilva. That's not saying I'm better than them, but when it comes to what Quicksilva does, if you look at my hashtag, The Quicksilva Show, or Party Kingpin, and watch me, like yesterday I had a festival with 7,000 people. I'm the best version of me. And I think for DJs, you have to become the best version. Nobody can out pork chop. Nobody. You feel me? Now, that don't mean that he better than anybody. He gonna argue he is, and I'm gonna argue I'm better than everybody up here. That's me. But then my facts speak for itself. My accolades speak for itself. But then you have to just make yourself, so back to answer your question, you have to make yourself the best dope DJ, period. Not just a dope female DJ. Because if your gimmick is I'm a female DJ, you're not gonna last long. Anybody else? We got about 2 more minutes. Yeah. Well, the problem, his question is there a way to bring back the era of mixed CDs? Unfortunately, here go the band. And once again, I don't want to talk this whole panel. Any everybody, please jump in. Jump in. Do what? Do you think?
To me, when it started declining was when they started doing like mixtape albums, right? Like the artists started just pushing the DJ to the side, and when I say that, I didn't need to do those, but I'm speaking in general, right? Like certain DJs used to do the best of CDs, and it still would keep that alive though, like the mixtape culture alive. But after a while, the artist was like, we don't even need to. We just go in the studio, put a bunch of songs and call it a mixtape. So that's when it started declining. To bring it back, I mean, we can all still get busy and do it, but it's the point of, like he said before, like we all did it. It's at the end of the day, we still doing this. This is our living. This is how we pay our bills. Nobody's really buying mixtapes no more. Everybody's streaming everything. Yeah. So it's a little tougher to have a lot of DJs commit to do that if they're not really gonna eat off any money. You know what I mean? So you can do it for the love, but how long is that gonna last, really? You feel what I'm saying? So
love don't pay the bills.
So yeah, I agree with you. I wish that could go down like that, but it's tough. It's tough.
And to add to it, technology kind of pushed it out. You know, there's cars now that don't have CD players or cassette tapes in it at all. Like you gotta almost like find a car to put a CD in. Like so, like it's as technology changes.
But on that note,
if you don't change with technology.
But on that note, I got every mixtape I ever made on the flash drive.
You changed with technology. You got to. Is it on sale?
I started that in 2011. Everybody jumped on board as they should. I jumped on board with other people that doing things before me, so I don't knock that. But like everybody was asking, can I get that Summer Jam '94 or the Bounce Squad or whatever on the tape? I digitized everything. It took a while. But I'll put it on a flash drive.
Where can we get that flash drive?
DJDuwop@gmail.com.
There it is.
Instagram. I don't use no middleman. You can hit me direct.
There it is. And they also have like on Sirius Radio. They have this show called Planet of the Tapes, and they play cassette tapes all day, every day. I mean, it doesn't stop. It's nonstop.
It's on fire too. Shout out to Geechee and DJ Diamond.
Yes. They play all of that, you know? And it's like nobody really
Sirius XM.
Nobody really don't listen
Channel
to
32, I believe it is.
Nobody listens to cassette tapes no more. And now it's like getting to the point where people are not really listening to CDs no more. They're like phasing everything out. So it's like if you want something, you have to either put it on MP3 and stuff like that. And soon the MP3 is going to be gone.
Well, I was going to add real quick. Theodore is correct, but there are reports coming out now that physical media is making a comeback with the younger people are getting DVDs,
vinyl,
even VHS, and they're really amazed by the fact that you can drop the needle on a record and actually play your music. Because when you stream, you're not really playing your music. But those of us that's old enough to remember Sunday morning cleaning up, putting on a record and putting the needle on, you feel like you're playing your music. Yep. And there's a new generation who is getting into physical media. So there's a chance that could come back. But the fact that streaming, you can stream television shows from the 80s where things are changed, things have been omitted. So people want the original. So that is coming back.
Yeah, I hope
slowly.
And to piggyback on both of them, saying like, you have to adapt and to change with the times. You said you hit the needle on the head when you're talking about you put all your mixtapes on the flash drive. You know, that's just the mindset you have to have if you want to make it in this business. If you harp on what was and what's not now and what's becoming next, I feel bad for you because unfortunately the music business is going to continue, the hip hop is going to continue, but you can still move on and stay true to yourself, but still just adapt with the times. You got your hand up for a minute too. Was this turntable? Yeah, record player.
Well, you can go in Walmart now and get vinyl, and it sells
everywhere.
Really big. So I definitely agree with everything the brother's saying. But I will say this: if you got the room, don't throw away any of your physical media, because I've been a record digger since I was 7, 8 years old. I'm 55 now. When I used to go digging in the 90s and they had the dollar bins, them same records that was in the dollar bin now, $30, $40. My daughter recently wanted Sade's first record. She's starting to collect records. I'm thinking I can go online or go in the store, get it $5. The album's $40 for a used copy. So I would say everything is cyclical. You know, a lot of this stuff, the 8-track might not come back, but the cassette is coming back. You know, some of this stuff is going to come back.
You got your hand up for a minute over there? Shh, hold on real quick, everybody. We almost done. Yes. So if you don't know, my son Antonio, who's actually just graduated high school, headed to Morgan, his name is, it's crazy. I don't know if y'all saw it yet because he just announced it yesterday. His name was DJ Sauceguard for the last few years, but he just decided as he's moving on and really coming popping that he changed his name to Sauce to DJ. But with that being said, the first thing, so I never was that dad that wanted to live vicariously through my kids. So I never pushed DJing on my son or daughter ever. Like, you know, whatever you want to be in life, you can become. My son was a basketball star. And when the pandemic happened, he was bored. For those who know, I own 2 DJ schools. And during the pandemic, he was like, Dad, can I just come hang with you at the school because I'm bored? There's no basketball happening. I was like, sure. So he comes to my class, Quick and Easy DJs, and he says to me in class as I'm teaching DJing, he says, Dad, I think I can do this. The first thing I said to my son, if you want to do this, you're not going to skip the line. You got to join the class like everybody else. We're not doing the nepotism. And because of who I am, you're not going to be a gimmick. Because now, you're Quicksilva's son, so your standard is already going to be looked at differently. So he joined the class. That was my first piece of advice. If you want to take this, you got to prove to me you want this. So he joined the class. After joining the class, he went to the advanced class. And I said, once you show me you want this, of course I got you. But I'm not just going to give it to you. So that was my biggest piece of advice for anybody who has a child that wants to get into any business. You have to make sure they learn the business. Learn the business. And then once I saw him practicing, and I mean, he at the point now, I'm not even exaggerating. They call me the party kingpin because I do 1,000 parties a year. My son has weekends now. He has more parties than me. And that's so impressive. To think he just started DJing 5 years ago, and some weekends he's 18 doing 4 parties a week. And Patrick Ewing just booked my son to do a Sweet 16 book. Like, that's crazy.
Big
and he be bragging to me like, hey, Dad, look how many parties I got. I'm like, little nigga, shut up, no man.
That's what's up.
So,
Somebody else's question?
real quick,
Go ahead.
I got a question from my mentor. She texted me a question. She asked, who do we think is the greatest female rapper of all time?
Damn, y'all know I'm trying to ramp this up. But
Shout out to Dr. Cheryl James.
There's levels to that. Same thing, man. Like eras, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
you got Roxanne, you got MC Light,
You got
Shantae. I mean, you got
'cause
Roxanne,
she freestyled a
Shantae,
lot of her
definitely.
stuff.
But then Light.
Queen
But then
Latifah.
honestly, and you can think what you want, you gotta say Kim. You gotta say Kim. And then if you're talking this generation, no matter how you feel about a person, you gotta say Nicki. I mean,
Kim,
it's just like
Foxy,
it depends.
Nicki. Jean Grey.
I don't know.
I'm going with Inga I'm going with Foxy Brown.
Rhapsody.
Even though she,
Rod Digger.
even though she ain't been in the mix in a while, like Foxy get down and she write her own shit, and she write her own shit.
Yeah, Foxy.
Yep.
She's a beast. She's a beast.
Shyrock from the early era.
Definitely Shyrock.
She had the most dopest voice ever, B. Oh my God. I used to have a super crush on her voice. How do you have a crush on somebody's voice? I had a crush on Shyrock's voice, B. Like, oh my God.
I got another random question, fellas. Who has the greatest performance out there of all times? Performance as far as artist, rapper. What rapper do you feel like when you put him or her on that stage, they're going to give you the best performance?
I was just
Hold on. DJ Kool first.
I was about to say I was just with,
outside of yourself, Kool.
okay, well, outside of me, all right. I was just with Busta Rhymes last night.
Hands down, my same answer.
So for me, it's gonna be either Busta or Redman.
Same one, same question.
Shout out
For
to
me,
Redman.
oh man, that's KRS-One, man. You go to his shows, man. He's like a beast. His show was like really a beast and stuff like that. But it varies, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got their different opinion.
Everybody got an opinion.
And I've seen Busta Rhymes show, and oh my goodness.
He take all the air.
I'm going.
Yeah, Busta's crazy.
I'm going Busta, man. I don't know if y'all remember. Like, well, Missy as well. So here's the crazy part. I don't know if y'all remember. I was a DJ on the Rock the Mic tour. So on the Rock the Mic tour, you had Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Missy, Busta, Fab, and we had other artists that would do spot dates. So to be out there on the road with them for 30 cities, and I can honestly say, Busta Rhymes stole the show. Missy killed it. Jay and 50 would do good because they was the headliners, whatever you call it. But if y'all never seen Busta Rhymes live show, like his energy, his hits, he be dropping shit. You be like, damn, I forgot that was him. Like his energy is just different.
I'm going with one of your friends, Dougie Fresh.
Oh, well,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Even though
you're killing me with that.
Greatest entertainer.
even though he doesn't have like all the hits that Busta has,
he
can rock a stage for 2-3 hours straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seen
And
it.
go through it
Without Slick
and keep it right without Slick Rick. Right.
That was my
right.
guy. That's who I was gonna say, Dougie Fresh.
Slick Rick,
Yeah, thank you, Doo-Wop.
Jay,
And Heavy D. I witnessed
Oh, yes.
Hev like
Definitely Heavy
rip
D, yes.
down some shows. Like when I was on tour with him in like '89 and '90, just watching him like tear shows down brought me to tears a couple times. You know what I mean? Like, look at my cousin. Oh. But yeah, Heavy D and Dougie Fresh, amazing to me. Like amazing.
And Heavy D made big guys look cool.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Before
he did it for the
Biggie,
big
right?
boys. Yes. Before
we got
Big.
Jay.
I'd say for energy, definitely KRS-One, Busta. I'm glad somebody said Dougie Fresh for energy, for sure. If you ever seen Stetson Sonic, this is going back, but if you ever seen Stetson Sonic, incredible energy on stage. Golden Era LL was energy on stage. Run DMC, especially, with Jay doing his thing. Yeah, but I say overall, energy-wise, it probably would be Busta. DMX was dope too. For sure.
Oh, DMX as well, right?
For sure, no question. No question.
X was crazy. Real quick, Portia, last question, because we got to wrap it up too. Okay. Who?
I know we all here talking about hip hop and the culture, but y'all cannot take away what MC Hammer did on stage.
Facts.
That's a point.
That's a fact.
Big up MC
I know we don't
Hammer.
want to show love to the hammer pants and the toes, but like,
The problem is, we all East Coast babies. Right. So when Hammer was doing what he was doing, 40 people on stage with him, he put on a performance.
facts.
Looked like the damn circus. She was
Yeah.
nuts.
Now he wasn't broke because of it, but that's a whole nother.
Well,
He did go broke because of that.
yeah.
Real
Can't
quick.
touch this.
I just want to go down the line real quick.
Big
real quick.
respect
I'm
to
gonna
Hammer.
start with you, Kool, and with you, Jay. If before we get up and wrap this panel up in the Who Is podcast, if you want to just plug one last thing, or just say one last thing to inspire somebody about hip hop. We celebrate hip hop's 53rd birthday today. You gotta realize hip hop started 53 years ago on this exact day. This exact day, 53 years ago. So final words, DJ Kool, and we work there.
I don't know, man. Like, for a lot of us, if it wasn't for hip hop, just like Trent said, if it wasn't for hip hop, man, I'd be breaking into your house right now. Like for real. So for a lot of us, that is a reality, man. So for real, that's what's up, man. Thank God for hip hop. Period.
Yeah, wow. For me, man, it's like hip hop is a soundtrack to my life, man, you know? I don't know what I would be or who I would be, you know, without hip hop, but being born into this art form, into this culture that we call hip hop, I'm so thankful for it. And because of hip hop, I'm able to have my first children's book out called How Theodore Became the Grand Wizzard. It's out on Amazon. If you get on your phone right now and order the book, I will greatly appreciate it.
I need that. I'm
And
going
this
to
is
work
the
with
book.
some 4-year-olds.
I wrote this
I
book
need
for
that.
all the kids. It's called How Theodore Became the Grand Wizard. That's my lawyer. I got my lawyer here with me. Anyway, you know, hip hop has made me possible for me to have my own lawyer, you know? And this book right here is for all the kids. I want all the kids to realize that no matter where you from, you can make a difference in this world. You know? No, I don't have no copies today. I was supposed to have some copies here, but Amazon did the scratch remix on me, so I couldn't have no books here. But it's all good. You can still go to Amazon. If you go to my Facebook page, Grand Wizzard Theodore, the real Grand Wizzard Theodore, or go to my IG page, the QR code is there. Get it, read it to your kids, read it to yourself. It's definitely an inspiring book, and I'm so happy to be a part of something that's bigger than I am called hip hop. Thank you.
This goes right back to Theodore, right back to what I said about.
Thank you.
I used to go to Rhythm Den to buy. Rhythm Den was not a mixtape store back then. We just call them tapes. They were the jam tapes. They were Cold Crush, like I said, Treacherous 3, and all these guys, Fantastic 5, and right. What hip hop means to me, bro, is right here, right now, right? When I was 9 years old, I was buying those tapes with this man on it, and now y'all got me up here sitting right next to him, chopping it up, nervous as shit because I'm right next to this dude. But it means a lot to me, man, and that should be inspiring right there. Like, you just follow follow what you're doing and look where you could be at. Like, I'm right next to this dude right here. It means a lot.
Facts.
Thank you. You just ordered the book. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna order one too, definitely. For me, man, hip hop is just one of the most beautiful and powerful cultures ever created. I'm very humbly blessed and thankful to be a part of it. I have gained so much from it. I try my best to give back to it and appreciate of it as much as I can, and show the love that it showed me. I'm honored to be up here amongst these great men, you know what I mean, and all the knowledge that they have, not only their skill levels, but their knowledge of the culture. That's what we really need to like start preserving and start teaching our babies, like the knowledge of the culture, you know what I mean, along with knowledge of themselves, how to eat to live, or like my man Theodore said, you know what I mean? Rastafari way of life is about liberty, you know what I mean? And we about love and liberty, you know what I mean? No deadness, no nonsense, you know what I mean? So I give thanks for life, you know what I mean? And I give thanks to be right here amongst all these great people, man. Salute.
If it wasn't for hip hop, I'd be doing something else musical. I grew up on jazz music. In my house, we had the Motown sound, Philadelphia International, OJ. I grew up on all kinds of music. So I'd be doing something musical still, and probably something nerdy with it, probably writing liner notes or doing some kind of history on it, because that's my thing. And I'm gonna do like Theodore and have to drop that. My first book is available actually right back here. And if you buy a copy here, I'll sign it. It's Run DMC and 40 Years of Raising Hell. It's the 40th anniversary of that pivotal album. It's a coffee table book. It's a collectible, nice pictures, good information. And as far as hip hop, I'll say we have to remember, because hip hop has become such an economic force. we got to remember, especially here in the States, hip hop ain't just rap music. Like everything we talked about today is rap music. Hip hop is the dance, it's the art, it's all of it. You know, it's the DJ.
Graffiti.
Started with the DJ, but it's the artwork, it's the graffiti, it's all of it. And if you travel the world, you'll see it. Go to Japan, anywhere in the world. You would think how it was when B Street was out here and we all had the cardboard and stuff. They still do that. Now, I'm not saying you still got to wear fat laces and Pumas and jogging suits, but don't forget when we talk about hip hop, holistically, it's more than one element. And that's what I like to leave with.
That's super dope, man. I'm going to end by saying, man, if it wasn't for hip hop, I know I wouldn't be here, man. Hip hop has saved my life. And it's crazy because, you know, if anybody ever read Quicksilva's bio, you always talk about how Beat Street was the movie that inspired me to want to be a DJ. So I got my first set of turntables when I was 10 years old. And I was watching the movie Beat Street. And this thing, I want y'all to just follow this story for a quick. And I'm watching the movie Beat Street. I get my first set of turntables. I have no idea what a DJ is. I just told my dad, I like that guy. I was like, it's working. It's working. I want to do that, Dad. So my dad gets me a set of turntables for Christmas when I'm 10 years old. Watching Beat Street. Fast forward 3 decades later, the cast of Beat Street got inducted into the National Hip Hop Museum Hall of Fame, and I was the person that inducted them. Like, that's mind-boggling. To be a 10-year-old kid and I'm watching them, and I'm like, this shit is crazy. And then that same kid from East Baltimore now is the executive vice president of the National Hip Hop Museum. Like, I say all this to say, like, you know, hip hop is one of those things that I know for a fact I'd be dead or in jail if it wasn't for hip hop. So I want to thank all of y'all, of course, for being here today, but I want to thank hip hop for literally saving my life, making my life, changing my life, and now that same hip hop culture is being passed on to my son, being passed on to my family, being passed on to DJs that go to my DJ school and graduate, and then I see them a month later like I'm doing my first gig, getting paid. Like, it's about paying it forward. It's about paying it forward. When you become successful, and once again, I know a lot of times I get into my vitamin of the day mode, but I'm a firm believer, I don't care what God you serve or what religion you serve, that's not my business. But to whom much is given, much is required. And when you become successful in life at anything, and success is not about money. Anybody that's a hustler can get money. Success is about the amount of lives you change, the impact you have. I was doing an interview and somebody was like, Quick, you the OG. And I said, I don't want to be the OG. I don't want to be the celebrity DJ. I want to be the inspiration. I want to be the inspiration to somebody that says, damn, if Quick came from all this of nothing, literally, to becoming what he is now, I know I can do it. So hopefully my life story inspires somebody. One thing I haven't even announced yet, but Pork Chop knows because he's on the radio with me every day. I got a bio coming out called, and the reason why I started the Who Is podcast was to tell the story of so many other DJs and radio personalities. But I got a bio called Who Is Quicksilva, and y'all get the exclusive. Netflix is going to pick it up, so you're actually going to be able to see this soon. So, like, this shit is different, my nigga. Like, I just want to say to all of Baltimore and to DC and to everybody worldwide that now supports Quicksilva, I love y'all. Thank y'all. To everybody on this panel, thank you. Jeremy, where you at? National Hip Hop Museum family, thank you. Master G was supposed to be up here, but unfortunately, if you know, Sugar Hill Gang is still touring, doing 10 shows a week, and he actually got stuck traveling, so he couldn't make it back. But he sends his love to everybody who support the National Hip Hop Museum. Jeremy, where's Jeremy Beaver at? Jeremy, where you at, Jeremy? Jeremy, come here. We gotta. This is actually the man who started the National Hip Hop Museum. Come here, man. Come here. Hurry. You gotta run. But real quick, for anybody who does not know, come here. You live on the podcast. We don't care. For people who don't know the importance of what the National Hip Hop Museum is, and no, this is a real museum that's being built. Just real quick, give the backstory on the National Hip Hop Museum and what we have coming up in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the intro. First and foremost, the National Hip Hop Museum is the world's first hip hop museum. We opened in 2019 as a pop-up experience, kind of similar to this, except with just tons and tons of memorabilia and artifacts. here we are 6, 7 years later, 2 of which were in COVID, and we've inducted over 120 of the legends of hip hop, okay, into our museum. And as I was being called over, a young lady in the back was asking me, why did we make the Hip Hop Museum? We made the Hip Hop Museum, and I have chill bumps saying this, because I don't know about you guys, but hip hop saved my life. I would be in jail, I'd be on the street, I'd be doing bad stuff, okay? But I grew up in New York City from Brooklyn, and in the 80s, you can't live life in Brooklyn or New York City without looking through the lens of hip hop. Okay, so these guys, these aren't just my heroes. This is America's largest cultural export, larger than any other facet of our society. It's important that we have an actual home to celebrate and commemorate and archive and preserve all of the moments and people and artifacts of hip hop. So if you can do me one favor, the best thing that you can do, because we're working on a big downtown headquarters in Washington, D.C., the best thing you can do is go on our website, nationalhiphopmuseum.org. Please either donate or just buy something from the shop. Even if it's not for yourself, buy something for your loved ones, because if you want to build this, we want to build this. And this is something that's really, really important, not just to everyone in this room on the 53rd birthday of hip-hop. This is important to American society and American culture. Black music needs to be preserved and archived and remembered forever. And we don't want to twist this story, okay? So I just want to say a big thanks to Quicksilva and the entire panel, because we are doing this for hip-hop and for everyone here.
And for those who don't know, Jeremy, real quick, when we say National Hip Hop Museum, this is real. We have one of ones. So we have the world's largest collection of hip hop memorabilia. I'm going to give you an example of one thing that we have, and this is just like to show you the type of stuff that will be in the museum. We all know that hip hop started 53 years old with Kool right? We all know that? We know that? We actually have DJ Kool Herc's setup that he made when he was actually DJing that party in Sedgwick, in the Bronx.
Wait,
we have the speakers. We have all of that.
The setup from August 11th?
We actually have the entire setup. We actually have the chair that was in Death Row's office. We have the Death Row chair.
Table.
Like, we have real, like, one of one. So when you see the museum, you're going to be like, damn, they actually, this is the thing that Kool Herc was actually working on when he started hip hop. So we have tons of stuff. But when the museum opens fully and you get to actually experience it, I'm just super excited that you'll be able to see that. These are things that literally only the National Hip Hop Museum will have. People have donated their jackets, their plaques. Biz Markie, rest in peace, some of his members. I mean, masters. We have so much stuff. So I'm really excited for you guys to see this. And once again, nationalhiphopmuseum.org. Support us, please.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Hip hop is alive and well, man. We love y'all.